Peace, peace, peace. This is the original OG from OmegaFMRadio.co.uk, where we try to give you a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Trying to be the voice of reasoning. Okay, I came across a few clips, video clips from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube that I think that you may be interested in. Okay, the first one is about a Jamaican woman. She's in Jamaica at the Jamaican airport, and somebody asked her to bring something over to the Caymanas Island. I will let you hear it for yourself, and then I'll comment about it afterwards. All right? Okay.
Are not who they pretend to be. You see a man face, but you can't see them heart. Me I tell you, say you have some evil people out there. Let me tell you something. Me I travel to Cayman in a Easter, right? Me I go for my friend wedding, and me I travel with my friend two son. And when we reach a Norman Manley, after me check in, you have a lady come over to me, one elderly lady. People me I tell you, say the woman could have been my grandmother. Me not exaggerate. And the lady, she walk over to me and she have some two bag in her hand. And she said to me, so she don't know if them are going to lower up on the plane with the two bag. One of the bag have been 4 Easter bun, come here tell her Easter. And she said to me, if me can carry the bag with the Easter bun, 4 bun in the bag. I said to her, I said, not a problem. Because me I tell you, one elderly woman, old woman, well dressed and everything. Me take the bag from the lady. And when me join the line for go through TSA, the person will carry me come at airport. It's like, him look back, and when him look back, him realize, say, me take the bag from the lady, yeah? And him come over and him say to me, say, what you do? Me say to him, say, no man, oh God man, we have to learn, we can't live so, we have to just learn to help out people. Him say, give back the woman her bag. Me said, no, me not give her, because she can't manage, the woman a struggle. Him said to me, say, give back the woman her bag, and him start nice at the airport. Me go back to the lady, and me say to her, say, listen, me can't bother with the excitement of the night, so guess what? See if you can find somebody else to carry it for you. Yeah? Then she start get upset, and she'll say, in this life, people not do things for people no more, and she not understand what kind of world we live in, or whatever. Me say to her, say, lady, me they take it from you originally, you know. But because of all my act, me can't bother with the night, so guess if you can carry somebody else to carry it for you, me give her back her bag. I go up on the flight, me know me see her on the flight. Me can't tell you what happened to her after that. Me see her on the flight. When we come off and reach a Cayman and me join the line now for go through immigration, 2 police officers walk over to me and them say to me, say me for follow them. Me say, eh? Me look round. Because me say I can't meet them at talk to. Them say, no, follow them. So me and the 2 little kids follow them and them have me in our room. People, Jesus Christ. Them interrogate me. Them have me in the little holding room for over 2 hours question me because apparently them have the woman for observation from Jamaica. Yeah? And them see when the woman hand me the bag. Them never see when me hand it back to her, no, but them see when she give it to me and me take it from her. So apparently from Jamaica, them are watch, no one will watch to see what happen. You understand? And them have it to say the person will come on the plane, because me are the only person on the plane that travel with 2 people. So the person will come on the plane with the 2 children, and she carry the drugs. Mama, hey! The people them have me in there for over 2 hours. Me can't come out. You know, me don't know what happened to the lady, because me tell her, say, the minute me go in and join the line, them take me out of the line. So me don't know if them hold on pan she, me can't tell what happened to she, be a focus on me now, because police come take me out of the line. Them have me in the room for over 2 hours, me can't come out. Now, the person will come to pick me up at the airport, and my best friend intended husband a film wedding. And him out there, and him can't see me I come out as a white guy, but him up there in a society a Cayman, yeah? And him said, me can't come out. Anyway, I'm find him way inside, can me tell you, say, him up there in a society. And him come in and start to talk and say, no man, you don't get the wrong person, no go so. You understand? And him have to talk on my behalf and say, no, no get it wrong, no mix it up, no get it wrong, no go so. And I stuck come in a prison today. One little elderly lady could have ended my life with 4 Easter bun. I'm just saying this to say that trust nobody. All when you see them pan stick and you see them can't move, not trust them because them heart not clean, them heart not pure. Move in a prison today because why me there at airport I try help out somebody. Somebody when me see elderly will look like them couldn't hold 4 Easter bun and the woman set me up. You hear me? Me not know where I'm touring now because as me tell you, the minute me join the immigration line and come take me to the line and have me in the room in an interrogation for over 2 hours for drugs in a Easter bun where me not know nothing about. When you travel or in this life, be careful of who you trust. You see a man face, but you can't see him heart. It's not everybody where you look and see. And sometimes good people out there, you know, but the good have to suffer for the bad because guess what? Trust no shadow after dark. The woman, an elderly woman, I may take the woman for but support the person at airport and now my money never did that behave bad. A prison would have sit down in, you know, because me I try help somebody. You see a man face, but you don't see them heart. Trust nobody. Me not care who them be or who them look like. No trust them. They're not good.
Guys, we have to learn off of people's mistake. We see so much people getting in trouble where their friend set them up. Especially stranger where you don't know. Don't care nothing for nobody. You see, when it comes to Cayman, guys, because me tell you, say, me travel Cayman enough time. You always have some people there at the airport. Some of them not even traveling, you know. And they have bags and them something there where they want you carry if you go give people over Cayman. Because feed them style like. When you pull up at the airport, guys, may I tell you this. You have some random people who just walk up with you and say, please, may I beg you, sir. When you carry this, go give so and such a person. Or left it a certain place, then we can collect it for you and them something there. But you have to be careful no matter how the person want to look. You hear what the lady say? I want an old lady. Zane, and she feels sorry for the old lady and say, alright then. She going to bring her bag. You see, if she did bring the bag, then she in a trouble. And probably the old lady not even know either, you know. But me just say this, brother. Learn from people mistake. Don't trust nobody. Not even your friend. We are give you certain things to carry. You have to carry, and your friend not feel away neither if you say you not bring nothing for.
People are
All
not who they
right.
pretend to be. You see?
Now, first of all, you heard when she stated, right, that somebody at the airport brought something to her, and she ends up, because of her friend, telling her, don't take it. Now, let's get this thing straight. A friend, right? I have a sister, a Christian sister, and she's asked me twice to go down to Kingston from St. Mary's to Kingston to pick up some jackass crackers for her, right? And bring it to the UK. And I done it twice, and I didn't even think twice. Because I believe that you're supposed to know who your friends are. If you don't know who your friends are, right, then it's going to be a problem. Now, a situation has taken place recently, like 2, 3 years ago, where a Jamaican female, she went to Jamaica with 2 children on vacation, spent like maybe a week or so, and going back at the airport, her friend in the UK called her and said, "Oh, can you pick up a package for me because my friend will bring it to you at the airport and you can bring it to me." So she says yes. She gets a package. She's going through customs. Customs asked her, "Did anybody give you anything?" She says, "Yeah." They let her go through. As she goes through, they hold on to her. Investigation, interrogation start taking place. Who gave you the package? Well, I don't know, but my friend in the UK said somebody was going to drop the package at the airport for her. Okay, what's your friend's name? She gives the friend's name and the telephone number, right? They call from Jamaica to the UK, question the female. The female says she don't know nothing about this. Nothing about this. Now, the female in Jamaica, she's stuck. She's in prison. I don't know what took place after that, all right, because I didn't hear a follow-up. However, people knew the female that was in prison. I know the female that was in the UK, and they went on social media and saying, "How could you do such a wicked thing to the female? How could you do that?" Knowing that she was like in England for the longest trying to get her stay, and she finally get her stay. She worked hard. She was doing nursing work and the whole 9 yards, and she decided to get a break. And now you set up that woman like that. Now, that's not a friend. All right. What I would say to you is, I don't care what country, I don't care what country you're leaving from, and somebody at the airport asks you to bring something back. Refuse. I don't care who it is. It could be, don't take it personally, it could be Jesus, it could be Marcus God, it could be Mark. No, make that. I'm not making a sweeping indictment on everybody. I'm just making a sweeping indictment that you do not take nothing from nobody. So if you're leaving Trinidad, Barbados, Jamaica, the United States, Russia, China, anywhere that something illicit may take place, do not take it. Now, the dude further on in the video states family members. Now, you got a family member that say male or female, they're in their 40s, 30s, 40s, 45, and they're squares, good, nice, decent individuals, and they ask you to bring up something like seasoning. Are you going to tell your family member no because you don't trust them? That's going to cause a major problem. Trust me, it will cause a major problem. So what I'm saying to you, if it's one of your family members that you know is on the verge of the underworld, I then, yo, my man, can you take this over to the United States for me? Hell no. Rude boy, you can't take this to England for me. Hell no. Because the lifestyle that they basically lead. The female in the UK, from what I understand, she was like a lean mode dry foot patsy or lean mode dry foot patsy. So she was part of a particular world. Now that does not excuse her for what she done, leaving this female in Jamaica going through hardship. So long story short, yes, family members, you know your family member, you bring it for your family member. So that's going to cause a problem if you tell them no. Number one. Number two, right? If it's a friend, you're supposed to know your friend. Number three, sweeping indictment. I don't care what country you're leaving from. United States, because they got drugs in the United States. They got drugs in Canada. They've got drugs in Europe. They've got drugs in Jamaica, Venezuela, Trinidad. They've got drugs all over the place. So make a sweeping indictment. Do not, repeat, do not take nothing from nobody. Do not allow your emotions, just like this lady here. It was her emotion, but she was a kind-hearted woman. Do not let your emotions supersede your intelligence. Okay? All right. So finish with that. Trump. A lot of y'all been asking me about what do I think about Trump. Really and truly, there's nothing much you can really say about Trump. He's erratic. They say he's got the deranged syndrome or deranged Trump syndrome. And I'm saying, that dude ain't got no deranged Trump syndrome. He gangster. That's all that is. He gangster. Because remember what he said. First of all, he said he wants to make America great again. So he wants to take it back to what they call the founding forefathers, which would be the Jeffersons, the Hamiltons, the Lincolns, and those individuals, right? But that was built on abuse and gangsterism. Went over to the United States, saw, well, not the United States at the time, but saw indigenous people there and wiped them out. They've been built on gangsterism. And because it's only 250 years old, right, my personal belief, that there's not been a part of the United States that blood has not been shed. The indigenous people, they wiped them out. Bloodshed. Slavery. Bloodshed. Civil war. Bloodshed. The roaring 20s. Bloodshed. The roaring 80s. Bloodshed. Every time you turn around, bloodshed on the United States. But they were built on gangsterism. Now, what they should call Trump is Donald Al Capone Trump. He gangster. Now, he is the only president that do erratic things. Erratic things like, like going get ready to go on an airplane, and the press asks him, "What do you think about Israel and Iran?" Listen to this dude. Israel and Iran don't know what the F they're doing. Now, which public person you see, or somebody in a profile like that, president, a prime minister, queen, king, whatever, not even entertainers come out like that and say things like that. Trump did. Remember, Trump is the one that told people to drink bleach during the COVID time. That's Trump. He wakes up in the morning and do anything and everything that his mind has to tell him to do. Because remember what he said, I don't go by international law. I go by my emotions and my feelings. All right. So yes, Trump is an individual. He's off the rail. Is he stupid like they say he's deranged? That man is far from deranged. It's just gangsterism. Now, Venezuela, uh, Greenland. What it is, from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, there was a thing called a Monroe Doctrine or a Monroe Declaration. Basically, mean that after World War II, because remember, America really and truly won World War II, right? So on the Western front, which is the Western world, they're saying that they control from the north all the way down to the south. But it was never implemented. So this is the reason why you see that the colonies, or some colonies and some former colonies of Europeans, right? They were supposed to control that neighborhood. But remember what Trump done. The first thing he said, he's changing it from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That's number one, right? Number two, he decided to go to Venezuela, right, and double tap individuals that he believed that's drug smugglers. Now, normally under international law, you believe that somebody's smuggling drugs, you apprehend that boat, you question the individuals, you search in the boat and the individuals them, and if you don't see anything, let them go. If you see, you detain them. Trump didn't do that. He never gave out no orders like that. What was his orders? His orders was to shoot first and ask questions. And then you got people and that when the drones hit the boat, people jumped overboard, survived, and they double tapped and killed them. That goes against international law. That's Trump, right? So what he's saying now is that, and all of that, what he's doing down in the Caribbean has a major effect on the fishing industry because people are scared to death. Because not everybody around Trinidad, right, is selling, importing or exporting drugs. But that's the situation. Now, Trump, as I said, he off the hook. Everybody is scared to death of Trump, right? Everybody. Trust me. Take a listen to this.
No. No.
All right. So that is the Trump. He like a baby. Everybody's scared to death. Remember what he done to Zelensky? Zelensky got a battery put in his back from the EU and from England. Yeah, we support you. Trump's gonna support you. He goes over there with a battery in his back, all right, and behind closed doors, they were furniture was moving because apparently what was going on, Trump wanted 500 billion of Ukraine's resources. Ukraine is saying, Zelensky is saying, well, yeah, but take 100, not 500. Trump ain't having none of that. This dude could not contain himself. So what did he do? He comes out, right, with his vice president, and they tour into Zelensky. Zelensky goes back to the EU, to Europe, and say, what happened? What happened? Boy, we don't know because that's Trump. He does whatever he wants to do. So here, what you do: write him a letter, apologize, and try to make this thing work. Zelensky writes him a letter. Trump, as an egotist, a narcissist, he goes up on, I think it might have been some Senate, not Senate, but some event, right? And he holds up the letter and says, see, I told you, Zelensky has to kiss my ass. What? Right? Now here goes Keir Starmer, scared to death. Damn. Nobody know what mood Trump's in. All right. Damn, what do I do? One of his advisors, or the firm, right? But most likely it's one of Keir Starmer's advisors say, call the firm, ask Charles for a letter and invite, saying that you want to invite Trump to the UK. Because for some reason or another, he's got this thing about the firm, right? If you don't know the firm, the Royal Sokol family, the Royal Sokol family. So anyway, they write the letter. Keir Starmer goes over there, right? Keir Starmer, the first thing he do, sitting around the table and everything, and cameras and the whole. And here is a letter from Charles. Trump smiled from ears to ears. He had a Kool-Aid smile. That took down the tension. Keir Starmer kicked back now and started smiling. Yes. Because remember, through, through the last few weeks and months, Trump has not advised the UK. They're talking about special relationship and ally. Trump never said nothing to them about what they were doing down in Venezuela. Nothing. All right, so they don't have that special relationship. When Trump the other day came out and hit out against the British troop that was in the background in Afghanistan, while I guess the American troops were brave and yeah. All right, this is your allies. Do you know how many? This is the reason why I said you got to think twice before you send your children or encourage them to go and fight for any country, to be honest. But we're in the UK, so let's say the UK, because Tony Blair and Bush, right, sent people into war. People died. People were mutilated, came home with horrific injuries, and can't get even a room to put over, a roof over their heads. 400 and odd British soldiers passed away. And he's going to make a statement like that, and they was in Afghanistan. So that just shows you how Trump is. So as I said, when it comes to Trump, right? Remember, he's off the chain. He will say anything and everything. He's the number one gangster. He is Donald Al Capone Trump. He remember what he said. I do not follow international law. When I wake up, whatever I feel or my morals tell me. Why do you think he allowed Israel to do what they was doing? That's another story of its own because that was just ridiculous. All right. Anyway, uh, the other day I was passing through TikTok and I heard a song, and I've been humming it for the longest, right? And it's a white guy. It's a reggae music, but it's a white guy. And I said, I don't really give props to white people like that because I know they stole a lot of things. We know that Elvis stole his creative style from a black man, right? His dancing was from Little Richard and a few others, right? But the boy could sing. There was no question about it. And the boy was bad during his time for a white boy, right? Barbara Streisand, she can sing. I don't care what nobody said. Barbara Streisand, oh man, she bad. For a white girl, she bad. Eminem, as a rapper, he bad. Sold over 60 million. You hear Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Tony Yayo, and a whole bunch of them saying that it's Eminem. He is the best rapper out there, or best rapper, period. I don't know about being period, but overstand 60 million. Dr. Dre saying it, so that tells you a lot. All right. So anyway, so what it was is that I came across this video, all right? And Jamaicans, there's something about Jamaicans. They can just make anything. If it's bad, they can make it nice. I don't care what kind of music it is. Let a reggae a musician decide to put it in reggae. It sounds better than the original. I'm not asking you. I am telling you. All right. So here we go. Listen to this. Wow, my yo.
Run again now. Run again now. Run again now. Yaga yo yo. Yaga yo yo. Yaga yo yo. Yaga yo. I'm holding very tight. I'm riding in the midnight blue. I'm finding I could fly.
All right. It was just something amusing, really and truly. But Jamaicans, you just got weed. Well, I'm not Jamaican. I am an African that was born in the UK, but my culture is Jamaican. All right. So that's what I'm saying. Jamaicans, there's just something about Jamaicans that supersedes everybody else. I'm not trying to be any say supremacist or anything like that, but look at our history. All right. Now, uh, Candice Owens. Candice Owens. I don't like Candice Owens. Straight up, I don't like that woman, right? And the reason why I don't like that woman is because she made some statements that I felt that was totally off the rail, right? Now, I thought I had it set up. All right. So Candice, I don't like her for many reasons, but one of the reasons is that she made a statement about Black Lives Matter, that Black Lives Matter was set up for black people to go on a rampage and riot when anything that happens, any kind of social upheaval, right? And I don't like Black Lives Matters, straight up. Right? And the reason why is because I know when I read their manifesto, because when it came out, it's like everybody, Black Lives Matters, Black Lives Matters. Right? I said, wow, let me see what this is all about. And I got the manifesto, and it was nothing but LGBTQ and blah, 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 blah. But the part that got to me at the end of the day was they wanted transgender to lead cisgender. Well, who the F is a cisgender? Me, heterosexual. Get out of here. How is somebody that don't know if they're coming or going, don't know if they're he or she going to tell me or to guide me in what we call an African liberation struggle? Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X, they'd be peed to the highest festivity. Alright? So all y'all individuals that follow and say, yeah, yeah, Black Lives Matter, you should think twice before you do anything again like that. Alright? Now, what she was saying was, is that we know that George Soros, according to the story, gave Black Lives Matter 5 million and the LGBTQ community 5 million too, right? And they were just looking for any kind of social upheavalment, right? Especially within the black community. So boom, here comes George Floyd. Boom, everything explodes. What they call it? Simultaneous combustion explosion. Something happened, boom, and it explodes straight away, right? Now, she jumps out of the tree and saying that, oh, this legitimized black people to rob, to pillage, to burn, loot. And I'm saying to myself, well, first of all, you as a black woman, you should know straight away that it never went like that. There was social issues that was taking place, a lot of injustice, like black men getting gunned down for no reason at all, and especially some of these crimes that was committed. A black man was being is defenseless, not being a perpetrator or nothing, right? And I'm not trying to make this too long, right? But Obama, he was the worst president for black people because he under his administration, more black people was killed under his administration, and he didn't do nothing about it. But yet he passed more LGBTQ laws for the homosexual community, right? Rights. All right. Now, what he could have done is like what Trump would have done. Remember, Trump done an executive order where 1,600 of them. Oh, that's what I meant to tell you about that too. All right. The executive order. I'll get to that in a minute. Done the executive order where he stated that there was 1,600 individuals that had an insurrection at the White House, not the White House, at the Capitol building, right? Now, first thing he do, he comes in, he gives them a pardon. He gives them a pardon from the rip, right? Now remember, right, that there was 10,000 out there. Those 10,000 grow exponentially within a quick period of time, right? From 10,000 to 30,000, 40,000, because they know that Trump, if you ride and die for Trump, he will support you. And this is what it was leading to before I get back to Candice, right? ICE, you Mexicans, and a lot of you people in the United States that voted for Trump, especially people of color, right? Serve you right. You Mexicans, I should stomp a Mexican mud hole into you. Now, those two that you seen as ICE wearing balaclavas and they don't have no cameras, I truly believe those might be part of the 1,600, right? And you see the other 10,000 that was out there that grew exponentially, they are part of ICE. Why are they hiding their face? Why don't they have no camera? So now, and really and truly, they're messing with the Mexican community. And it was a Mexican, a lot of them, well, not Mexican, but Hispanic community decided to vote for Trump. So it serves you right when he's picking on Mexicans or Hispanic from El Salvador, Guatemala, Peru, right? Nicaragua, you name it, El Salvador, you name it. It's your fault. And plus, they're not telling you that what Trump is doing is have a major effect on the economy because a lot of the people that pick citrus fruits, come from what they call third world countries, which is mostly Hispanic. So now the jobs that the blacks and the whites don't want to do, right? Hispanics done it. Now the Hispanic, right, scared to go to work. So now, boom, you can see what's going to take place. The economy's going to feel it. Then now this ISIS, the way they're acting, now they killed 2 individuals. So it was all you individuals, especially you individuals of color. Forget it. White people voted for him to make America great again. But for all you individuals then that saying that you know what, you're going to vote for Trump because you want some change, it serves you all right. All right, it serves you all right. Now getting back to Obama. Obama could pass an executive law, just like what Trump done, and said any police officer that shoots an unarmed black man, unjustified shooting, right? They should get charged for second-degree murder, not involuntary, all right, or first-degree manslaughter. Get them second-degree murder, and if they blow trial, you don't drop it down to manslaughter. They get the full 25 to life. They lose their pension. Not only that, the victim's family is going to sue the city. The city now is going to pay out 5, 10, 15 million. But that's coming out of the taxpayer's pocket. It's not coming out of that police officer's pocket. All right? So this is the reason why I said with Obama, right? He was the worst. Now, Candice Owens, right? She's talking about the injustice. Not injustice. She's talking about that it was set up for people to go on a rampage, riot, loot, burn down the place, and not looking at what took place at George Floyd. Then she turned around and said, "Oh, George Floyd, he was a dope thief. He had this, he had that." Remember, this is a white woman stuck in a black woman's body, or I should say, a white Ku Klux Klan woman that's stuck in a black woman's body. And the other reason I don't like it is because you're with a Caucasian dude. All right. Now, but the flip side to the coin, I do give her props. I ain't gonna tell no lie. I give her props. I want you to see if I can catch this the right way, because all of a sudden it didn't want me to do it the way I would like to do. Grab you, move you. I couldn't. I got you. All right. So now I'm giving Candice. Now I told you I don't like her, right? So you already heard that from the rip. I don't like her. But, however, right, I respect her. She is the only one that I know that got their foot deep up into what they call Zionists and Jews and Benjamin Netanyahu. And the way she put her foot deep up into them, I'm surprised how they still allow her to be on YouTube and Facebook. Also, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, they all flipped. Maybe the reason why they don't take down Candice Owens is because she is the #1 podcaster in the world. And after what they call October the 7th, right? Like what she said before, it's like she was always on their side, right? But then they said, look what took place October 7th. This is what she says. And she looked. And what she saw, she did not like. All right? So I'm going to play you something. I want you to take a listen to this. All right? And I think you should, because let me go back one. We could not say nothing. Because anything you said came out of your mouth, you're anti-Semitic. Period. I done a thing called the Protocols of the Jewish Elders. It was inquiring minds would like to know, does this exist? They shut me out of YouTube saying that it was hate speech, and if I do it again, they're going to take me off, period. I did not say to kill anybody. I didn't say anything like that. I didn't say anything derogatory. It was looking for information. And I said, okay, let's have a look, right? And one of them, I'm going to do later on, Kanye West went through a whole bunch of things, but I want you to listen to this first, all right? Let me see. Let's try this. And
speaking about what was in the Talmud. They want to punish your offspring. They view you as Gentiles. They believe in spilling your blood. Bibi Netanyahu and any person that defends the modern state of Israel. You have a capacity for lies, manipulation, and evil. The rabbis, the police, the politicians have been involved. They are saying that as a part of a ritual, 3-year-old children are being raped in forests. To initiate yourself into this cult, you had to...
All right, I stopped it
Speaking about
right.
what was in the Talmud, they want to punish your offspring. They view you as Gentiles. They believe in spilling your blood. Bibi Netanyahu and any person that defends the modern state of Israel. You have a capacity for lies, manipulation, and evil. The rabbis, the police, the politicians have been involved. They are saying that as a part of a ritual, 3-year-old children are being raped in forests. To initiate yourself into this cult, you had to practice pedophilia. There was actually a synergy that was building amongst Europeans because there were these incidences that were happening where children were going missing. Why does Israel have such an issue extraditing people that are being children in America? They protect these people. You are being gaslit right now about what's happening in Gaza. So you better believe that these people are gaslighting you about what took place all across.
Okay, so you heard that. That's Candice Owens. You hear the way she was speaking, right? Now, we never knew much about history. When it came to what we say in Judaism, Ashkenazis, or what they call them, Khazarians. Well, I can't pronounce the name. I'll get it later. All right. But anyway, we never knew much. And anybody like Farrakhan, Malcolm X, Dr. Ben mentioned anything from a historical perspective, it was always anti-Semitic, shut you down. You have no say, nothing. But because it was taking place in the last 2 years, right? And we got social media. We're seeing exactly what's going on. We got people coming out of the woodworks now and say, this is what's taking place with this place called Israel. And that's the reason why I'm gonna play 1 or 2 clips and call it a wrap because I don't want to make this too long. All right? Listen to this.
But I try to encourage my audience to go back to this Frankist cult, right? So there was this person who was perceived to be the Messiah. He was a Kabbalist. Estimated from half to 3/4 of the Jews in Europe followed him, believing that he was the Messiah. So one of the things that they practice is that we'll inherit the world if we practice incest. So everyone is in our tribe and we keep multiplying. And to initiate yourself into this cult, you had to practice pedophilia. If you try to look online today, they tell you, well, this cult died off. That is an insane, easily debunkable lie because our Supreme Court justice, the first Jewish, he wasn't Jewish, he was clearly a Kabbalist, Louis Brandeis in America was a Frankist, and he kept in the Supreme Court a picture of Ava Frank, who was their non-Virgin Mary because they believed in having sex all the time and there was this initiation rite. Being a gypsy is also a piece of this religion, like become who you need to become and always write yourselves as the victims in history. This is the point of these endless wars. They're smashing people, you're pulling them out of their homes. I mean, what will happen? I like to think about this Gaza because this is a current event, right? We see what's happening. We know what's happening. What are they going to say in the future about the Gazans? Are these people, what happens to their remaining belongings? What happens to their ancestry? Do these people go in and take their belongings, these settlers that are running into there, and sell them in a foreign country? This is what I always think about the Bolshevik Revolution. You stole Christian art, you stole Christian jewelry, you mass murdered 60 plus million Christians, and then you exported yourself to America, and you started the Diamond District. That's a fact, by the way. Okay, that is a fact that this is what they did. If you want to look up the history of Armand Hammer's family, the actor, his great, however many grandfather, Julius Hammer and Armand Hammer, by his same name, he was close with Stalin, he was close with Lenin, and he would go and he would take arts and all of these artifacts while Christians were being oppressed, and he would start museums, and they established the Diamond District. So you're being told, oh, well, we're just so clever that everywhere we go, we just are able to start these businesses despite being, treated like crap and we're surviving the pogroms. I reject that, okay? You've been more evil. And I'm talking here about the Bolsheviks who whitewashed their name and their history and gave themselves new identities. You've been successfully more evil in being willing to mass murder 60 million people, writing yourself out of the textbooks for having done this, and stealing from the people whose land you take. Will that be the story of Gaza? Presumably some of these.
Okay. Now,
but I try to encourage my audience to go back to this Frankist cult, right? So
well,
there was
let me
this.
stop. Now, a lot of information that she's spilling. I didn't know this information. A lot of it was locked down. We had our individuals like Dr. Hendrik Clark, Chancellor Williams, what's the other one? Ivan Van Sertima, Ashra Kwesi. We've had so many telling us, but by the time any information was put out, we couldn't do our own research and say, well, yeah, what makes sense from what don't make sense? All right? Because everything was shut down because we don't have no control of no media. Maybe the reason why she's doing what she's doing right, is because she knows she can't go on regular media because they would shut her down. But still come puzzling how they have her on YouTube because I got this from YouTube. I was going through certain things and when this came along and I'm saying, well, whoa, this female is something else. Alright? She got her foot deep up into them. And she has taught me something that I did not know. Alright? Anyway, take a listen to this.
Stop telling people you're chosen. You are not chosen to do ish except within the synagogue of Satan. Clearly, because everything you do, clearly, because everything you do, clearly, because everything you do. There is a Israeli historian named Abraham Pollock, and there's actually a lot of historians prior to World War II, who received awards for saying that the origins of, which is why it was stunning to me to see Kyrie Irving treated in the way that he was treated, 6 steps to get back to your life, because he shared a documentary which was theorizing that the original Jews, I actually didn't watch the end of the documentary, but the point was he was making that
All right. Now,
stop telling people you're chosen.
all right. Now, I'm not saying to believe or not believe or don't believe. I'm saying do your research yourself. All right. She has taught me a few things, and a few things is when we're going through this. Ask how we all know that we as Africans, we knew that Judaism, Christianity, really and truly was in Africa because Christianity was in Africa at least 600 BC. All right, remember Serapis? Remember that Serapis story? All right, so we know it was always around. It was in Africa, just had a different concept. Now, what happened now later on is that somehow these Khazarians, I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name correctly. Richard was trying to tell me about it yesterday. But anyway, the Khazarians, right? How did the Ashkenazis and the Khazarians, how the hell did they acquire to become Jews? Or pick up the thing called Judaism and have it as their ancient religion? And it was like, inquiry minds would like to know. I've heard the story, but I probably was maybe some of y'all already knew the story. I didn't know nothing about it, right? Now, from what she's going to explain, and she's going to explain it, but this is what I got from it, right? That in the 8th century, right, uh, the Khazarians or Khazarians, all right, I gotta get that name right, all right. But anyway, I got it down as Khazarians, so work with me for the time being, all right. Right. Now, they were in Asia, and that was an empire. It was a little empire in basically close to Russia, somewhere over them side, the Bulgarians, by Ukraine and them places, right? And these people was living foul, very foul, bestiality, homosexuality, uh, incest, and what did I say? Incest, homosexuality, incest, bestiality, and child molestation. Now, they was approached by the Persian and the Russians and said, listen, the way you live in immoral, we can't go for that. So you pick one of these religions, Judaism, Christianity, or Islam. This is in the 8th century, 8th to 9th century, right? They didn't want to take Christianity because they was figuring that Christianity had a leader, which was Jesus. At that time there under Islam, you had like what they call him? A Khalifa, like somebody that had like an imam, for the lack of a better way of putting it, right? And they didn't want to go for that because that was somebody telling them, but there was nobody around for Judaism. So they took Judaism. After a period of while, they was continued doing the same thing over and over and over. So the Persians and the Russians dismantled them, kicked them, and that's how they were spread throughout Europe. Right? Candice will explain it a little bit more for you. Just bear with me. Right? Do your research. You don't have to believe what she's saying. Do your research. Or don't believe
The
her. Just do your
Canaanites
research.
were a brutal and a wicked culture. They frequently engaged in behavior that was considered obviously immoral and decadent, right? A list of the sins that Israel was told to avoid at all costs. Those sins included the Canaanites partook in incest, in child sacrifice, in homosexuality, and in bestiality. Now, in your mind, you're going, okay, that sounds familiar. We spoke about this as well when I was telling you guys about the.
All right, now listen to this.
In case you're not familiar at all with who the Khazars are, outside
Listen.
of whether or not you can draw a line from the Khazar Empire, the Khazarian Empire, my understanding, and I have not done enough research into it. Essentially, it was an empire. And can you fact check it again? This would be in Ukraine, and what would be modern Ukraine? And let me know in my ear when you dig that up, Mark.
We're checking.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure that it was in what would have been deemed modern Ukraine. It all goes back to Ukraine. But essentially, they were worshiping and doing things that were considered so immoral and so corrupt. And I'm talking about sexual stuff. And I'm also talking about in the way that they cheated people, that they were given an option from modern, I would say Iran, but Persia and Russia, like either you convert to one of the faiths that we think will make you more moral, or we will crush you. And so there was this mass conversion in the 8th century, and you can fact check me on that too. I think it was the 8th century where the Khazarians mass converted to Judaism as the faith. And to be clear, it was the people that were running this empire at the top who were just up to no good, and they carried on their corruption. They carried on their sexual deviancy despite pretending to have converted to.
Okay.
In case you're not familiar at all with who the Khazars are.
So you heard it. Who was the Khazars? Do your research. I was correct. It's Khazarians or Khazars. I thought I had it wrong, but maybe she and myself have it wrong. Who knows? But let's work with what we know. So now, what she was saying, and I did not know that later on, they were saying. Let me go back. In one of her broadcasts, which I did not play, she stated that they had robbed, right, people in Europe, and then they went over to the United States and opened up the Diamond District. And I never thought about it, but when you stop to think about it, from Canal Street going all the way up to 50 other, right? It's nothing but jewelry stores. Remember, there's a jeweler called Jacob the Jew, that he makes all those big diamonds and so forth for the rappers, all right? So they control the diamond district. I'm not saying what she's saying is true. No, I want to make it plain because I don't want YouTube to come or Facebook and say, I'm anti anything, all right? But what I'm going to get back to Candice a rap. I don't like the woman. I've stated unequivocally, I don't like the woman. But I give this woman props because she, right, has jumped out of the tree and given us information, because I never knew nothing about this Khazarians and how what they call Ashkenazis, right? I did not know anything about them. Khazars, right? I didn't know nothing about them. And when she mentioned it, one or two of my peeps knew, but they never said nothing to me because there was no interest to me at the time until I read it and say, yeah, they know all about it. All right. So if you know, good. If you don't know, well, here's the information. You go and look for yourself. All right. Don't allow nobody to urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining. You think before you think before you think. All right. There's so much information out there. All right. And before I finish up, you got to be very careful, very, very careful of what we call social media, because we thought ABC, NBC, ITV, BBC was a television like, and it was corrupt in the whole 9 yards. And yes, you are correct. But the internet, social media is a cesspool of lies. So you've got to weigh up the information, do your own research. If that kind of person you are, that you just don't want to watch stupidness, like a 30-second clips of somebody doing some jumping out of a building or some kind of craziness or sliding down a tree or whatever it is. If you're that inquiry mind and you want to grow and develop so that you have the information to give, all right, then what you do is you hear something, take Ibrahim Torre. We know later on that 95% of the information that we heard on social media was AI. But the good thing about it was good AI. They was not speaking nothing bad about Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso. Alright. So on that note, listen, I am from OmegaFMRadio.co.uk. You can catch us on TikTok. You can catch us on Instagram. Instagram, put in OmegaFMRadio.co.uk. Alright, that's Instagram. You can listen to us live. Well, stop you. You can listen to us live on OmegaFMRadio.co.uk. All right, you got that? Cool. You can also catch us on TikTok, which is TikTok at Omega FM Radio. That's it. TikTok at Omega FM Radio. That's it. All right, listen, y'all have a pleasant morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are, respectively. Take care, and I'll hit you back up, most likely with some information that I might feel is conducive for you. All right, I'm through the door. Peace, one.